G'day team, Uncle Jojo. Warm Jika to a ripper of an episode. We're just going to talk cabinetry and panelling. It's great to be able to get flat pack kitchens and flat pack cabinetry, but the big thing is fitting it off and making sure it's been fitted off properly. One problem I've got are these floors in this area are around 50 to 75 mil over the entire length. So I need to make sure not only is it level on a horizontal plane, but it's plumb on the vertical plane as well. A big section of that is, if you look at this paneling, I've got 8 mil at the top, 8 mil at the bottom, and yet we're touching in the center here. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to scribe this so it fits up against the wall. I know what you're asking yourself, Uncle Jojo, how are you gonna do that? Well, let me show you. We push the cabinetry panel hard up against the wall, and then we plumb it. Once we've got that plumb, then what we need to do is mark the edge of the panel. This now gives me a line that I need to be working to. The side of my pencil is super important. I can use something along the lines of that to be able to get that mark, but I can see here that I'm already missing it. That's a retractable pencil that's made for construction, but this is an old school carpenter's pencil. You can't beat it on site. By understanding the pencils and the tools that you use, you are able to get a better end result. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this outside and I'm going to shape this to be able to fit against this wall. It's going to take me a few goes and we'll make sure it works. The way that I'll shape it is I can either get the saw and follow that rounds and down, or I can actually get my planer and actually plane it to the shape of the wall. When you're working in an old home, you're always going to get walls that are out of plumb, or you're going to get walls that are slightly bowed and things like that. So we need to make sure that our paneling and things work to that. Another big section of this is intermediate panels as I'm moving down. So what I'm going to need to make sure that I can do is get my top, the two sides, nice and plumb and level, and then I have to intermediate, then I need to interfill the intermediate sections of the whole cabinetry section. We started, just have a look here, I've started, this was actually our line where we were starting, but by the time we got over into this back corner, we were going to be about 75 mil too high. So what I've done is I've actually referred it back to the highest point or the lowest point of my kicker and reverted it all the way back to here. So down this end I've only got 50 mil, and at the other end I've got 125 mil. This is critical about trying to get our lines and make sure our lines all match up. So not only is it this line, not only is it the bottom line, but it's also the top line, and then transferring that to the other side as well, and making sure that both sides work with each other. We'll be able to, the big section of that is being able to see across the ends here how they're going to match up, and we've got a mirror in the center of that. So it's really going to show up if we don't get this spot on. Mega, mega, mega important. Another thing that we need to make sure of is that we've got areas, if we have to create access points, we need to have areas that have been put aside for it. What I mean by that is, in the bathroom on the other side of this wall, I've got a heated towel rail. So what we've done is I've cut an access hole in. What I've done here is I've cut an access hole instead of patching that up, I want to have the safety of being able to get to that later if need be. Something happens to it, maybe the solenoid or one of the elements burn out or something along those lines. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to have an openable panel there so we can get straight to the electrical. The other side's all tiled floor to ceiling, so we want to make sure that we can get to it from this side. I need to take that into consideration as I'm doing this side of our cabinetry. A really important section of any building work is making sure that you've got the adaptability to rectify things or to change things in the future. Homes change as people get older, so we want to be able to make sure that we've got the ability to adapt to the growing family or to the changes inside the house. Thanks for watching. Any questions or queries about that, flick it over. I'll answer it for you best I can, whenever I can. Thanks for watching, and like always, stay on real banana peels old. See you in the soup.